Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. JC here with another video on Action Taimanin. Today we're gonna review how to beat LWS Squad on step 100. But before we start, don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the content. So one more time, sorry if you hear a lot of echo. As I said on my previous video, I am moving out. I already loaded the truck and sent all the stuff, and I'm still on the old house to finish um, some ends. And there's nothing in this room other than the computer and my bed, so there might be echo. Sorry about that. But let us get right into it. So once again, we're doing this. I'm doing it on step 200 because my account is stacked. But most of the stuff, or all the stuff, is gonna be F2P on the build, the supporters, and so on. And I don't have the my controller connected, but well, here I have it. So this is gonna be fairly simple. So there are multiple ways to beat these bosses. I'm gonna show you three. Two that are fairly easy, and the other one that is the one that I use, that it's a little bit more aggressive, but is the one that I use for farming. So the first one is the counter strategy. For the counter strategy, you need whichever character that can withstand damage and provide some kind of value. For example, Sakura here. Sakura is a pretty good tank slash counter for this particular boss because it has a debuff that mostly we don't use, but that's Ensnare. Ensnare is going to keep the enemies from moving, and that's gonna facilitate things on for the damage dealers. Not only that, she can heal herself and she can become tankier. So I'm using whatever Viridian weapon over here. It's just a placeholder for the Magatamas. Water, anti-machine Magatamas, whatever Magatamas subslot, whatever weapon on the subslot. 5 out of 5, plus 11, plus 15. Shadow Spin, Shadow Tangle, Shadow Shift. And for the supporters, so I'm using Nana, and over here, so in order to recover HP with my attack with the spin, I'm going to be using Lilim and Arabella. If you don't have enough damage or you need to be tankier, there are alternatives. First of all, you should consider Akina. That's gonna be your way to recover HP on blue, on a pure blue build. The other thing that you can use, Fairy Sakura, a generic damage reduction, pretty good. Butler Asagi, a great HP increase for humans, so keep those in mind in case you don't have these or your Sakura isn't tanky enough. Start the customs, start training, and now let's go to the let's mention the other counters that you can use. There's plenty of good counters that you can use. For example, Phantasma. Phantasma is an excellent counter. You would need Crunching Fear, Twister, Dance, and preferably Phantasmal Mirror with a combination of supporters such as this. Yeah, actually this is perfect for the counter roll. If you have the red Nagi, this Nagi, that's also good. You can also use the classic green Murasaki, you know, the invincible Murasaki. Or is Murasaki? Murasaki is another great option for a taunter. Let's see, who else can do the taunter roll? Let's see, that also provides utility. Felicia can do the taunter roll. I'm gonna show you that. She's more of a healer, but also a supporter, so it's good. And basically that would be it for viable counters. I mean, Sue too, but she needs a lot of babysitting and healing, extra healing, so it's not the greatest option. Let's see. Then, range attackers. For range attackers, the best options are gonna be Micah and Sora, because these are long range attackers. Other range attackers are either mid-range range attackers or even close combat range attackers, supposedly. So yeah, those are not that great for this stage. You want to use either Micah or Sora. And yeah, basically because those are the ones that have enough damage. Even though Maribel is pretty good, she relies on her crits for damage. Other than that, she's gonna provide utility. The same can be said about Anya, not to mention she's a mid-range attacker, so no. We're using this. And why Micah? Because Micah has the Wicked Star weapon for anti-machine. This is gonna facilitate things so much. So we have that weapon, 5 out of 5 plus 15, whatever weapon, 5 out of 5 plus 13, anti-machine, win Magatamas with whatever attack Magatamas on the sub-slot. We have Death from Above, Campered Bombing, Ruthless Explosions for the defense reduction. The supporters only damage increase, you know, the Susune for ensnare and healing, and these two for damage increase, 30% damage increase each. Stats of the customs, stat training, and then we have over here Momochi Nagi. Momochi Nagi I just put over here because I wanted to use someone who is pretty easy to build and has great damage. So the thing with Nagi is that she has this anti-boss weapon that you can use. I don't have it at a good S level, but it's a great weapon and it's permanent. So you can use that. But in case you don't have Nagi, what can you use? Your strongest attacker. That is either mid-range or range in some capacity. For example, Ragnarok would be a viable option. Who else? Let me think. Let me check. Ragnarok, Micah because of those. No, not Micah. Asuma because of those big AOE's. You can also use Ingrid. Is a viable option, especially on blue. The fireball is pretty good on this particular stage. So whatever you have that deals good damage will be able to perform, especially with the ability to ensnare the enemy thanks to Sakura. So what else? Whatever weapons, I mean 5 out of 5 plus 14 plus 13, anti-machine, electric Magatamas, whatever attack Magatamas on the sub-slot. We're going green, so we use Storm Drum for healing. We use Momochi Style to attack from afar. And Moonshade? No, let's change to Flutter. This is a generic damage increase on this attack, so we can use it. And then we have damaging supporters as usual. Bareta, Vacation Bareta, Holy Knight Mitsuki, and Misaki. Misaki for the healing on the main, that's why we have that. And stats of the customs, stat training. And let's do the run. The name of Fuma, you know, classic damage reduction. And wait, normal attack, increase normal attack to debuff the enemies. The damage of normal attacks, that's good. Particularly because of the Momochi. But I mean, it's just an effect to reduce the defense of the enemy. So we let Sakura gather the enemies, and then we attack. And we deal as much damage as we can. Little by little, we just... Come on, there. We just delete the enemies. And in case I need healing, I just do this. So you see, perhaps it's not the fastest thing, but it is pretty safe, honestly. Whenever you use a counter, you want it to provide utility. Even though Murasaki cannot slow the enemies on green, she has the ability to reduce their defense drastically, so that's pretty good. Let's use the ultimate to eliminate that enemy. Oof, just a bit more and there we go. Pretty easy, right? Because, I mean, these enemies aren't as strong as they used to be, first of all. Second, there has passed a long time and we have a ton of gear nowadays and a ton of strengthening options. Now, let's go with... Is it different from... I think I changed a thing or two. Well, whatever. Let's equip this one. So, For this, we are abusing the mind control with Oboro, and that means that the enemy is not going to move. The enemies have immunity to speed reduction, and that means that you cannot use speed reduction strategies like the blue Phantasma that I used on a previous video. Those are nice, especially with multiple enemies, but ever since they reworked Oboro, she became way better at dealing with those enemies that have immunity to speed or speed reduction. So, because technically mind control is a different kind of debuff. So very quickly, let's check that. Oboro, here I have this weapon. It is just a placeholder. Honestly, you can equip whatever you want. Remember that the stats of the PP weapons are better than the ultimate weapons, so that's something to take into consideration. This is just because I want the 4 Magatamas, and the 2 SR weapons are not good against this particular enemy. So we just have whatever weapon and whatever weapon. 5 out of 5, 4 out of 5, plus 15, both of them. Wood, anti-machine Magatamas, whatever attack Magatamas on the sub-slot. And we're going mix, because mix is technically the build that abuses mind control the most. I know that people think that it's red, but technically every skill is going to inflict mind control. So, Flash Step for mind control, Hypnosis Heal for mind control, and Shadow Strike for mind control. And what supporters are we using? Basically Sakuya, along with Arabella and Misaki. Though, if you want her to be tankier or you don't want to control her, you can use whichever form of damage reduction you have available to you. Just remember that you have to equip a green supporter over here, or you can go red. That's also an option if you want. Let's see. Stats of the customs, stat training, and then we have Phantasma. Why Phantasma? Honestly, because I want to take advantage of the fact that the enemies are not going to move. So usually you do not want to use melee attackers on this stage. But since we are stopping them completely with mind control, we can commit to using those. And well, Phantasma, a suppressed type demon character. So she's using the Viridian weapon, whatever weapon on the subdot, 5 out of 5, plus 13, plus 15, melee anti-machine Magatamas, anti-machine Magatamas, whatever attack Magatamas on the sub-slot, Crunching Fear for the HP recovery, Suko's Whisper to buff the party, and Slasher Horror to get near the enemy. So, I know that I mentioned another build that was kind of like this, but the thing is we're stopping the enemy from moving. We do not have to taunt or tank hits or recover HP that much. So instead we are buffing the enemy, the party, and debuffing the enemies. This one is not a debuff, but it synergizes very well with the leader skill because you get near the enemy. Let's see. Supporters, the same supporters. Damage increase, damage reduction, damage increase, damage reduction, damage increase, snare, and healing. Stats of the customs, stat training, and lastly we have Saika. For Saika, I just decided a melee character who was busted, and we know Saika is busted after the renewal. So I'm equipping whatever weapons, 5 out of 5 plus 15. Let's see. 7, 4, 28. 7, ooh. 7, 6, ooh. So the renewal weapons are stronger than the arena ones. Let's see. But the decisive one is not. So I'm gonna put the decisive one just instead because it is weaker than the other one. I think I had these ones. Yeah. So that's better. So that we don't rely on paid content. Uh, because this is weaker than another pair of these from a different color. Now, Gale Kick, where is it? Shadowless Kick and Calamity Over. Calamity Over for the damage increase, Gale Kick for the defense reduction, Shadowless Kick to deal a ton of damage. If you wanted, you could equip Takeover, but technically we're not gonna let the enemies move, but there are a ton of enemies, so it is there if you want it. We have Mitsuki, we have Baretta, Holy Knight Mitsuki, Vacation Baretta, and Trajiro to extend the buffs, I guess. I mean, you can equip whatever you want, it's fine. Though Baretta is not going to affect the enemies with her active. Keep that in mind. Set up the customs, start training, and again, the name of Uma. So, pretty easy, pretty simple. I just get near the enemies and I do a dodge like this. Nice. Shadow strike, yes. There, perfect. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, I forgot that I have to use the the attack to activate it. I thought it was with the dodge button. Or is it? Well, whatever the case, there. I just stop the enemies constantly, preventing them from doing anything significant. There. Nice, 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 nice. Perfect, nice. Done. I stop them even more. This one is super easy because Soboro can abuse the mines so that you always keep the enemies on their mine control. Yeah, it is great. Let's see. Sorry, you're probably hearing all the clicking. Those are my basic attacks. Yeah, just the ultimate and done. Yeah, that's right. Pretty simple for the most part. And now I'm gonna show you the one that I use. Though I'm gonna do slight changes. So I load this one. Number one, we remove all of these, and once again we put the name of Uma. Number two, let's see, weapons are, no, I take the renewal one and I replace it with this. 5 out of 5, plus 15, plus 13, obviously anti-machine, Magatama's Wind, whatever attack on the sub-slot. This is fine. This we change. We simply add this and Granny. Where is Granny? Ah, that's why it was blue. Granny. So 30% and 90% damage increase with all of these. The stats are the same. Felicia. We change this one for this. The attack doesn't really matter that much. Oh, what was it? I think it was melee. But this is demon, no. Anti-machine. Yeah, that's better. On equip. Yeah. So 5 out of 5 plus 10 plus 15. Anti-machine water. Whatever attack on the sub-slot. Vampiric Zone. Sanguine Smash. Slaying Spree. This one for the defense reduction. This one's for the speed reduction. Though it's not effective here. But still, it's good damage. So we're gonna use it. Vampiric Zone to keep the enemies marked. As for the supporters, let's see, I'm gonna have to change that. The question is to what, because there are not that many options. Well, I guess I can use not the best, but do we have something that is, yeah, this one. I'm using red for this one, so I can use Mitsuki, yes. I can use the other Misaki over here. And what on the second slot? Let's see. What do we have that is F2P and useful for this particular stage? Honestly, I think nothing. Um, increase HP restoration from more sources. Increase melee damage. Increase healing. Healing for the humans. Crit. Honestly, there's nothing. Oh, yeah. Torajiro. Torajiro is good enough. Technically, you want to go like off tank, so half of this you would want them to be tanky. But honestly, there's only limited options for being tanky on green. Ingrid, where is it? Kirara. So yeah, if you have a way to give yourself a little bit of damage reduction, that's fine. But I know it's kind of difficult for green, so let's go with this. Stats of the customs, stat training, and lastly, we have Sora. For Sora, we're gonna change the weapon for this. I'm just gonna equip the Thunder Mega Tamas. 5 out of 5 plus 13 plus 15. Electric anti-machine Mega Tamas, whatever attack Mega Tamas to the subslot. Fox Flame, Taimanin Art, Celestial Fox, and Chosen. And for this, we're gonna change it just a bit. Let's see. I have it on Felicia, so give me one moment. So technically, I have to do this. Technically. But let's see. Micah doesn't have Susune, okay, so that I don't repeat. Micah doesn't have Susune, but Felicia has Misaki. Unfortunately, I'll have to drop Misaki over here if I don't want to use repeats. But what can I equip that benefits this particular character? Is there an F2P option or something that I can change? Increase damage dealt to all enemies, decreases the damage taken from all enemies, and increases speed. Nice active, but let's see. Honestly, nothing. Nothing at all. Oh, that's a shame. Okay, I'll change this one. I'm just gonna check one thing. Double. Okay, I can commit to go mix with this one in particular. If you have the two Misakis, that's cool. If not, well, equip whatever you can. This is a demon, so I can just very easily equip the Sakuya over here. Perfect. And the issue is that the actives are not that great. I'll just put this like this. Perfect. And that's it. So what is this doing? We're abusing the damage of two ranged attackers paired with a taunter that is also a healer and a debuffer. So that's basically a pretty simple strategy for the most part. We just let Felicia get near the enemy. We attack. And that's it. Done. As simple as that. And in case, which I shouldn't, but in case I need extra healing, I have the Misaki, which I can just activate whenever I want. Look at that damage. Pretty decent. So, 20 seconds and almost done with the three of them. I'm gonna use the ulti. And yeah, we're gonna do this under a minute, I bet. Oh, I got interrupted. Well, it is what it is. There. 1, 2, and we heal a little bit more. I could use the ulti, but nah. Let's finish without the ulti. And done. Oh, really? Okay. A minute? Oh, it was over a minute just because they spawned. Well, whatever. You know I could have, but it was just bad luck. Well, whatever. So this one is pretty easy by comparison. So let's just highlight how this enemy works because I forgot about that right at the beginning. LWS Squad consists of 3 enemies, as you can see. These 3 enemies have different characteristics. Not only that, they constantly summon minions, and on top of that, they can do some. The stage does some homing missiles. I don't know if they still do that or if it's the attack of a particular LWS machine, but well, in any case. The red one is going to use a flamethrower. The yellow one is going to use a machine gun, and the blue one is going to summon mines. The red and yellow are pretty dangerous, especially the yellow one, because if you're in front of it when it starts to fire the machine gun, you will take all the hits, and even a tank may not be able to survive. Keep that in mind. So you want to stop them before they do that. Also, they have these stepping attacks where they go in front and they stomp their feet, and those have knockback. Those can be pretty annoying. They can even interrupt some of your animations. So you want to use characters who have good super armor or range attackers. You can avoid that by just using range attackers. Another option is to use mind control, as I show you, so that the melee attackers do not get interrupted. Another important aspect is their immunity to speed reduction, which means that they are not going to be able to be stopped with traditional means. You have to use something special like super armor break, like mind control, or even ensnare. That's also a viable option. By the way, I didn't mention this, but there's a pretty good supporter, well, technically 2 supporters that you can use for ensnare. And both of them are blue. Number 1, Yusuriha. Yusuriha is excellent for snare control, and Kaito. They both do the same. You can equip them on the main and they are gonna constantly ensnare the enemy. On top of that, there's weapons and skills that can keep the enemy ensnared. Not to mention that the wood element, when you take damage, you have a chance to ensnare the enemy, and that's an anti-machine element. So, well, anyways, that's about it for today. I hope you find this useful, and I'll be seeing you next time. Bye!